Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falcon.
We got some new freshies to talk about. Not really that new, but new enough movies. They're not old for a change. And we're talking about a genre, a whole genre, a little bit. And first off, Vinny, we gotta have a nomenclature conversation here.
Sure.
How do you pronounce this word?
Biopic?
That's how I say it.
Because it's a biographical picture. Biopic.
Obviously, right?
I have heard that some people say biopic, and they're just wrong. And they can live with the knowledge that they are wrong.
I heard Seth Rogen say it like that in an interview once, and it made me start questioning my whole shit. You know what I mean?
This is a man that hasn't made a single biopic.
True. And so in my 8 minutes of preparation for this conversation, it occurred to me, I'm like, I could be fucking wrong. I don't think he and I have ever said this word to each other with mouths before. So I looked it up, and there's several years old Reddit threads talking about this, and people seem really passionately split about it.
All right, what's the justification behind biopic?
There is none. That's
okay.
Like, it seems like people feel like that's how they heard it first, and so that's how it's always been to them. And then there's other people who are just like, that's madness, that makes no sense. It's like saying like docudrama or something. Like, I don't fucking know. It's bizarre, but it's oh my God. It doesn't rhyme with myopic.
I feel like if you're going to say, look, that's just the way I've always said it, then you're at least acknowledging that you're wrong and you're okay being wrong.
Yeah, you're acknowledging there's no logic behind any of your shit. Yeah, okay. All right, so at least we got that hammered out. Look, we're making progress, man. We're moving along. All right. So it's cool. The most recent biopics we've both seen are very specifically music biopics, which is kind of like its own subgenre, I guess you could say. But I looked it up too. Look, I did a lot of work here. A biopic is defined, and I had to look this up because Wikipedia is full of shit. It's defined as a motion picture dramatizing the life of a particular person, typically a public or historical figure. I think we all mostly know that.
It's good that we've got that definition out of the way.
But I do that because if you look up list of top grossing biopics in Wikipedia, you'll get things like Apollo 13 and other movies that I would consider historical fiction.
Yeah, sure.
Not a biopic. I think it has to be about like one or two people.
One person about like their life, not just one. Like Apollo 13 is about one thing that happened to them. It is a slice of their lives, whereas I think a biopic tells the story of their life.
Well, then we're going to run into trouble with mine, because mine is literally a slice of one person's life, but it's reflective of their entire life before that point. I don't know, man, but Apollo 13 isn't a biopic. I don't think you could argue about shit like Braveheart. But they had like 300 on here, and Troy, no, bro, no, that's not gonna. That's why I had to look it up. I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
they even included.
I think when you look stuff up these days, you got a lot of like AI information getting fed into that, and it's just wrong.
Yeah, I like to think that Wiki is still just human bullshit, but you're probably right. Like they even put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on here, saying it's Sharon Tate. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Schindler's List. Like
I like how I'm just coming down strong. Like, no, these things are wrong.
Right? A Beautiful Mind is a biopic. That's a fucking biopic right there.
Yes.
That's a biopic.
I don't even know that I would count Schindler's List, because Schindler's List again is about a specific thing that happened.
Yeah. I loved A Beautiful Mind. Mostly because they filmed it at Princeton, so I recognized everything, which was nice. We had a teacher in college who supposedly knew him.
My math professor in college, I mean, I don't want to stereotype or whatever, but they could have been twins.
Was it the same guy I had? The guy
Maybe
with
the one that never looked at you during class.
Yeah,
he just
when he wrote on the board, he broke the chalk all the time because he just
Yes.
smashed the fucking chalk on the. Yeah, that's him. He supposedly knew John Nash.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Like they briefly crossed paths when he was a young mathematician. I don't know. People said that he was like a mad genius, that dude, and somehow he ended up teaching.
Our guy or John Nash?
Our guy. Like at one time he was promising, and then he ended up teaching remedial math to college students in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's how I know it was my guy, because I was definitely in remedial kind of math. It was like whatever the easiest thing I could take was. But he would come in, he would sit down at the stroke of whenever the class began. He would get up, start writing on the chalkboard. Face turned to the chalkboard.
Absolutely,
he would be talking as he wrote
to the chalkboard. Yeah,
he would never look at the class. And at the stroke of the time that the class was supposed to end, he would stop writing, sit down, and that was that.
He was definitely on the spectrum, my man. But he knew what he was doing.
That's
all his shit made sense. I didn't want to
stereotype, but for sure.
All his shit made sense, bro. All his shit. And you know what? The best thing I remember about that dude is when you had a test coming up, he would give you the entire test, the class before. So that was your incentive for coming to class.
The numbers would be like slightly different. You know,
but it was all the same formulas, all the same problems you had to do, just with different numbers. So if you came to the class before it, you essentially got the test, and then you just came in, took it 20 minutes out. And he didn't
everything
talk
was
to you.
open book.
Yeah,
and
calculators.
He didn't care because he wasn't looking at you anyway. I'm not condoning cheating. But if you wanted to come in with whatever it was, he wasn't going to look at you one way or the other.
Also, this was like a core, I don't even remember what it was called, like finite math or some shit. It was the math class you took if you just couldn't manage the test out of it by your SATs. And for I think both of our majors, it was like the only math class required. Like this was it. This was like, you're not word people.
We needed one,
Yeah, you're word people from now on. So it wasn't like the stakes were super high. Unfortunately, I had to take that class twice.
I actually had to take two. I had to take a real, we called that remedial math. I had to take a genuine remedial math.
Oh, you had to take like basic math or whatever it was?
And then that was like the most minimum, not remedial math class you could take.
Oh, cool. Wow. Yeah. One thing you're not, you're better. I'm better at math than you.
It's true. I have no ego about that at all. My SAT score was so mid because my math scores were horrible. It was like I didn't even hand in answers.
Yeah, it was like a fucked up scale.
My whatever the other side was, the reading or the writing or both, if it was just that, it would have practically been perfect.
I think it was verbal. I think that's what they called it.
Verbal. That's what they called it. I know that they changed the SAT stuff after us.
Yeah.
So I can never competently talk about the SATs
right.
again.
They added a writing.
They
added a written portion, which apparently they have since gotten rid of because people are too dumb. Which is great. No, I was the same way. I was the absolute. You want to hear something fucking hilarious though? Is I was the last. Two math classes I took in high school were Honors Algebra 2 and Trig and AP Prob Stat. And somehow my dumbass did not know that if you bought the credits for the AP class, you got out of it in college. Because no one in my family went to college. We didn't know. And no one in my school told me because they're awesome.
So you were not required to take a math class in college, and you did it anyway?
No, I was required to. But no,
I was thinking
what I'm saying
you
is,
meant you took the AP class in high school. But
if I had paid $150 to get the credits through that AP class through my local, what do you call it, community college?
Sure. Community college, yeah.
I could have gotten out of that math class, and even though I couldn't test out of it. But that's how I ended up taking it twice, because the first fucking time I had to drop it because I got a weird old lady teacher that didn't let you use calculators.
You know who I'm going to blame? I'm going to blame whoever your advisor was, because they were useless. They gave us these advisors. They didn't know anything about anything. That person could have told you. I mean, All right, to be fair, you probably didn't get the advisor until after, it would have been too late to pay for whatever. But still, like,
yeah, I don't remember how that worked. I don't remember who told us to take what for our first semester. I don't remember that. I remember the other ones. I don't remember.
Then I'm going to blame your teacher. Your AP whatever teacher should have been the one to say, like, hey, by the way, you should all pay the $150.
My guidance counselor, who was also the fucking football coach, assistant football coach, that was his job, and he taught health. He was my guidance counselor, so he wasn't pulling a lot. My little shitty goddamn Catholic school. All right. John Nash. Thanks, John. That's how we got on this, you fuckhead. Sure.
Jennifer Connelly. Great movie.
Yeah. Jennifer Connelly. Exactly. Ed Harris. Beautiful head. Beautiful head. All right. So what your movie is I haven't seen this. This is
because it's not out yet. I just wanted to shit on it anyway.
Yeah, like you know a lot about it for a movie that isn't out yet. It's just called Michael.
It's just called Michael.
Man,
so I feel like there are some what would you call them? Like warnings that we should give before we start talking about Michael Jackson. I mean, all right.
Trigger warnings.
Trigger warnings. Sure, right? Like unlike the Michael Jackson subreddit, which does not allow you to say anything about this stuff at all, I feel like you can't have an intelligent conversation about Michael Jackson without talking about, child sexual molestation.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a big part of his legacy.
Yeah, like not his life, his artwork, his career, and his legacy. Like, you can't get away from that.
Yeah, and it's also like the last thing, It's like the last big thing that happened from Michael Jackson, other than him dying and holding a kid over a balcony.
I wouldn't.
Like, there's not a lot
argue, I would argue against that. Like,
well, I'd say
the child sexual molestation charges came in 1991. There was a lot of Michael Jackson after that.
All right, whatever. Yeah. I don't know the chronology.
And I think that's my big criticism of this movie. All right.
All right. Get into it then. What's going on? What is it?
I wanted to ask you, what is it that makes a good biopic? Because where I'm going with this is, I think their original intention with this movie was going to be to meet all of Michael Jackson's controversies head on, to say, like, listen, this was the man, warts and all. This is the struggles that he went through. These are the pains that he had in his life. Because, all right, I've been a Michael Jackson fan, or I will say a fan of Michael Jackson's music. I long ago figured out how to separate the art from the artist, but I've been a fan since before I can remember. Like, my parents said that I was bopping along in the stroller or whatever, like that's how long,
Well, kids fucking loved Michael Jackson. When we were kids loved Michael Jackson. Everyone loved Michael Jackson, dude.
I wish I went to your school. I got teased for it.
Oh, I didn't tell anyone at school.
Before the molestations.
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone at school. But it was like a thing you found out. Like, yeah, everyone kind of liked Michael Jackson, But I'll tell you, the first 2 CDs I ever bought was Green Day, Dookie, and Thriller, because my dad didn't have it. So I bought those are literally the first 2 CDs I ever bought. I
think mine were actually Dookie and Bad.
Yeah? Holy shit. Yeah. I bought Bad soon after and Dangerous. I was into Michael Jackson at the time.
There we go.
Yeah, dude. It's common ground. You're not alone.
Yeah. So I feel like any movie about his life ought to address this. Like, even if your stance on it is that he was innocent. And I'm going to say, for the purposes of this conversation, the more I find out about this stuff, the more I dig in, the less I actually believe that he molested anyone. But that does not mean that I feel like he was appropriate at all in any of the stuff that he did. Like, if you are an adult without kids, hanging out with other kids, unsupervised, as an admitted drug addict, and as a what would you call it? An accused child molester, none of those things individually are appropriate. But when you bind them all up together and you're like, oh, you're having sleepovers, they're unsupervised. Yeah. They're in your bedroom, and Macaulay Culkin will tell you that Michael Jackson's bedroom is like the Taj Mahal, and you can sleep 75 feet away from him and still be in his bedroom, but it's still inappropriate.
It's super sus, all of it sounds like there's a slim chance it could be innocent, but it's really sus. It's weird. It's just
I
weird.
think he had some mental health problems.
Absolutely.
I feel like he needed a lot of help, and he wasn't going to get it surrounding himself by yes men.
No, and he was surrounded by yes men and people who fed him lots of drugs, like Elvis amounts of drugs for years and years and years. Yeah. On top of having what I guess were unaddressed mental health problems from years and years of abuse and a fucking wild, weird, unconventional childhood, I guess you could say.
And so here's where I'm going with this. Yeah. That's the movie I want to watch. I want to watch a movie about a child who is abused, who becomes the biggest star in the world, who has, dealt with issues, mental health issues that lead to him getting into some trouble over some things that maybe he didn't do. Maybe he did. I don't know. I wasn't in the room, but having to deal with this pain all of his life.
Now, I remember a mini series about him.
The Jacksons, An American Dream.
Is that what it was called? That was right after all the kids spoke about their abuse growing up. And then they made that. I mean, I do remember that mini series, but what was the scope of that? Was that...
So, and this is what makes this interesting. The scope of that is the exact scope of this film. It will begin, maybe like just prior to the Jackson 5 era. Like, we're gonna become famous,
become a family band. Yeah,
yeah. We're going to lead up to Michael becoming a solo act, putting out Thriller, and becoming the biggest star in the world, and Thriller becoming the biggest album of all time. That's how it's going to end, which is exactly how the Jacksons' An American Dream started, middled, and ended.
Okay.
The difference is that Michael will have significantly less time to do it because the American Dream thing was like I don't even remember how long, like a 4-hour miniseries.
4 parts, like something like that.
Yeah. So what disappoints me about this is that they originally wanted to tell the movie that I mentioned, or that you mentioned. What wound up happening is that after they shot it, I guess somebody in the estate was going through old contracts and discovered that the Chandler family, Geordie Chandler was the child. And I'm willing to say that name in particular because normally I would not give the name of a child, but because Geordie Chandler came out later and was like, it was all,
he's essentially a public figure at this point, almost.
Yeah. So they accused Michael of sexually molesting Geordie Chandler. It later came out that was not true, but Michael settled so that he could kind of get this out of his life. And part of the settlement agreement was that if there was ever a dramatization about Michael's life, the Chandler family could never be included in that. Which put them in a weird spot because the Chandler situation was going to be a very big part of the film.
Okay.
It sounded like you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about saying something like they couldn't they just change their name? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that would be a very reasonable thing to do.
And also, that is a wild thing that it outlives the guy. He's been dead a long time, but that stipulation still carries on. Is that like
the
forever?
HBO thing outlived him too. Like, when HBO put out Leaving Neverland, the Jackson estate sued because when they made an agreement in the early 90s to have I guess it was like the Dangerous concert on HBO.
Yeah.
There was a stipulation in the contract that said that HBO would never put out any programming that would, defame or anything Michael Jackson. And Leaving Neverland counted. So they were able to pull that down based on that.
Wow.
So the director had to go back, reshoot a significant chunk of the movie.
Oh, so the movie was shot. It was done?
It was done.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was going to be the sweeping epic of his whole life.
That's why they couldn't change the name. They really should have found that earlier. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did the reshoots. So they went back. Right. They paid significant money to reshoot a significant chunk of the film and reframe it so that it ends at Thriller rather than going on through the rest of his life. And I'm like, first of all, as a piece of art, how do you do that? Like, how do you just say like, okay, we're going to take the whole point of your thing? Because I really feel like the Jackson estate wanted this to finally, I don't want to say put Michael's side of the story out there, but give the public like a reason to believe that maybe it didn't happen.
Well, to tell a more informed version of the story now that so many more facts have come to light, and it's been a lot of years in the distance, you know, and you can look at it more objectively, and people are more willing to talk about shit, you know, that's 30 years old.
Yeah, and not only that, but just the fact that like the general public, I mean, I don't want to say they're gullible, but the general public just wants a story to latch onto.
Yeah, the general public's dumb as shit, man.
They are. So Leaving Neverland comes out, and that's it. Like, that paints the narrative. And now I feel like they wanted their thing to kind of like repaint the narrative a little bit.
Yeah,
are you
it feels
ever going to kick
scummy
this? No,
too.
it's a permanent part of his legacy. But you could feel like maybe like the other side could get out there so that his brand wouldn't be as toxic going forward.
Yeah.
Now that's moot. You know, now we're just putting out like an entertaining, like this is The Greatest Showman. This is, you know, the Freddie Mercury thing. Like, this is just going to be a fun biopic about the music and making the stuff.
And that feels kind of weird, you know? It partly feels okay because that's what Michael Jackson was for our whole childhood.
Yeah.
But then it also feels like, you know, undignified. It just, and it feels like you're just cleaning up history, you know?
It feels like you're copping out.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Feels
it's a
like,
cop out, yeah.
Because when I watch this movie and it ends at the Thriller era, the first thing I'm going to think is we deliberately avoided every controversy in Michael's life because everything hits after that. Like, the drug abuse hits in the bad era when he burns his hair.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And then the stuff with the sexual molestation begins in the dangerous era. And like, I'm like, holy like, why? You know? Like,
yeah. I mean, if you're going to, the right way to do it, honestly, you could do it in 2 parts. You could honestly do a whole part about the Jackson 5 era leading up to Thriller, and then a whole nother movie about everything that came after.
So there's been a lot of implication that if this is really successful, they'd like to make a second movie, primarily because it's all filmed anyway. Like, they filmed all of that stuff.
I bet you if they paid that family enough, they would fucking sign some shit. And said it's okay. If they came at him ahead of time, they're like, yo, this movie made bank. Like, here's 40 mil. They would probably shut the fuck up. If they were looking to make 200 mil on it, they'd do it.
It's possible. I mean,
I don't think it's going to be that good, though.
I might place it. I guess you start it in the history era, the second one, like 1995, 96. You don't specifically mention the Chandler family by name, but you kind of like talk about the fact that something happened without using the name, you know, like there's ways to do that.
You could keep the focus all on him and the people around him. And like, people don't often talk about that kind of shit with full names or anything. Yeah. You know, you could do it. You could do it.
And
but
then
I guarantee you they had a
the
conversation
molestation
with the lawyers.
Stuff. Yeah.
They definitely had a conversation with the lawyers where they're like, yeah, we could change the name and reach it. And they were like, no, just stay the fuck away from the whole thing. Their eye is on us now. They're going to sue us no matter what, you know? That's just great. That's great for art. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
wonderful.
It's just going to be another popcorn flick, and I don't know that anybody needs that. I don't know that fans need that because we already have the Jacksons and American Dream. If you really want to watch that, I don't think that naysayers, or if that's what you want to call them, need that because it's not going to convince anybody that he was any better of a person.
Yeah. Have you seen
Skeptics,
trailers?
I guess would be the better word. There's one trailer at the time that we're recording this. Yeah, I've seen that.
How's the actor that they cast for Michael?
They don't show him much, but he looks exactly like him because he's like a direct blood family member. It's like his nephew or something.
So hard to cast that.
Yeah.
I don't know. No one really moved like that dude. It's hard to fake that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good dancer. The guy they've got playing him, I think his name is Jafar Jackson.
No shit.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I love a name with alliteration. That's fantastic.
The Jackson family has no end of that. Janet, Jermaine, Jackie.
Yeah. It's It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Joe. Yeah.
Joe Jackson. That's a very
Joe Jackson.
Sounds like a baseball player.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, that's why. There it is. Thank you for that.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
When's it come out?
Later. I don't know. Sometime
Next
in
year?
2026. Yeah, it'll be sometime in 2026.
Yeah. Just broad 2026. You
From
gonna
what
go
I
see
remember, the trailer aired. It premiered with Wicked. So
Okay.
I guess whenever you start to drop a trailer, from there, like Wicked. Oh, Wicked 4 good, not Wicked 1. So yeah.
No, I figured.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think you're gonna go see it?
I mean, I can't imagine I'm not going to see it at some point.
Curious
whether
enough,
it's going to be in theaters or not, I don't know. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'll check the thing out. I mean, with any luck, and I think I said this about so many other things like Ghostbusters and whatnot. What I love about stuff like this is that it encourages rights holders to put out things to tie in, to promote, yes, you don't like the new Ghostbusters movie, but when they're promoting the new Ghostbusters movie, they take the old one and they clean it up and they put it on 4K.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing I'd love to see. I'd love to see Moonwalker put on 4K Blu-ray, stuff like that. So hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah, we just watched Thriller for the Halloween season, and
As you do,
and the making of special along with it, because you just gotta.
I watched that for the first time in 10 years, maybe even longer this year, because my kid was like, how did they make this? And I was like, oh, as a matter of fact.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
Here's an entire hour-long special about it.
Check it out.
And now you got to watch American Werewolf in London with her. And then you got to be like, see that guy with the beard? He got 2 kids and an actor killed for a Twilight Zone movie.
You were there when we watched Monster Squad with her. Monster Squad was it was just over the envelope. There's a line in the sand. It was 2 millimeters over
close,
the line.
Man. Yeah, it was
An
real
American
close.
Werewolf in London would be 2 miles.
That traumatized me. That traumatized me when I was a kid. I was just kidding. Jesus God.
Yeah.
So, okay, going back, I think part of what makes a good biopic is a really strong theme that doesn't feel contrived or too saccharine or too fucking just rote, because usually it is a real person's life, right?
Yeah.
So whether or not it's based on a biography or an autobiography or a bunch of them, or whether it's based on interviews and research and whatnot, it's always going to be laid out in a linear fashion that just isn't how life really is. So you're already forming it into a narrative. So when you do that, you got to give it everything that a story needs to have. I hate biopics that just try to stand on their own because they got an actor that looks quite a lot like the person or it does a really good approximation of them, and they spend a lot of money on all the period stuff, but it's just fucking nonsense. It's just vignettes and scenes and that are kind of loosely connected, but a really good one that comes to mind is Ray. I think I
loved Ray.
Excellent. Yeah. A really just a good movie. It's just
because they didn't run from anything. It was I didn't know going into that he had the problems with the drugs that he did. I mean, I guess I was young and
well, they hit
Charles
a lot of that
before.
shit back then. It didn't get as much press as it would today or in the intervening years. And by the time we were kids, he was revered and clean and and all that and old. Let's be honest. He was I remember him being on TV shows all the fucking time, gray hair and shit. But Ray Charles' story is they got real lucky with Jamie Foxx that everything lined up with that because he was amazing and he could play the piano and sing. It was an incredibly fortunate thing that they got him. I think a really bad example of a biopic is another music one is The Doors, the Oliver Stone one.
I remember that. Yeah.
Now, I was obsessed with The Doors growing up. It's one of my favorite bands of all time. So I saw that movie 1,000 times, right? But it's not a good biopic. It's not a. I don't know. It's debatable whether or not it's a good movie, but it's basically just Oliver Stone's. it's the movie he came up with after reading a bunch of stuff about the Doors and being obsessed with them for a long time. Like, and plus, it's just other things that just didn't happen. Like, he just made shit up just to create a character, you know, rather than trying to tell some kind of a real reflection of a person, you know?
I remember my biggest memory of that movie is I watched it for the first time in college in a class. And after that class was over, I went back to the newsroom and I was talking about it with Laura. And you were so mad. You were like, no, first of all, this is bullshit. And you just went through and like laid it all out. And I was like, wow, all right, yeah.
I have strong opinions. I have strong opinions about that shit. Yeah. Like its biggest redeeming factor for me is that Val Kilmer did a great job as Jim Morrison. He was really, really good.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And the music was great. Like all the music they selected, the covers that they made with Val Kilmer singing were great. Like all that stuff was really good. And the movie looks great because Oliver Stone is a wonderful visual director. But he did the same thing with JFK, which could arguably, that's more historical fiction. But same thing, though. He just made shit up and just made up a narrative by cherry picking things and conspiracy theories and shit. And it's just a fucking mess. No one really even remembers that one. It was big when it came out, and then it's like, we don't really talk about that now.
The Doors or JFK?
JFK.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stunned that no one has made any other kind of Doors movie in the intervening years. Christ, that came out in like 94, 91 maybe. That's old. Knock wood.
The further we get from the 60s, you know, there's only a certain period of nostalgia. Like, you know, nostalgia runs in like 25, 30 year cycles.
Yeah. Plus in the 90s, there was that revival of like 60s and then 70s music interest and all that. Yeah.
That's your 30-year cycle.
I don't math good. I think we established that already. I don't fucking, and I'm not in that mode. I'm talking, so I can't math think. Okay.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
But I also saw a movie recently that was great, a good biopic, and it's a slice of a life, but it's the Springsteen one. I think it's actually
Born in the USA?
No, Deliver Me From Nowhere is what it's called.
Okay.
But they actually called it Springsteen: Deliver Me From Nowhere, like because people wouldn't know what the fuck it is, right? I don't know. This one's weird, and I read some criticisms of it going in, and I wasn't really expecting to like it much, right? And I think the criticisms were kind of fair, and they mostly were saying that, like, if you want a movie about Bruce Springsteen where you hear all the most famous Bruce Springsteen songs and find out some of the stories behind them, this isn't it. And it's not. And that's not what it's trying to be, because it's about a very specific period of his life, a fairly short period, and the making of one record. Right. So you don't get all that. There's not a lot of concert footage. Like it starts with a concert, and there's another one later, but it's like a Rocky movie. Like it starts with a fight and kind of ends with a fight, you know? And in between there's like a lot of talking, you know, but there's music, but there's a lot of, and oddly enough, there's a lot of technical stuff about recording music at the time because it's a big factor in the story. And the fucked up thing is, it's like someone interviewed me and was like, how did you get into Bruce Springsteen's music after hating him most of your life? Because I hated Springsteen growing up, like through high school, through college. Even as from Jersey, I did not, it was like old people music for a long time until I got old.
Yeah.
Then something happened. Then I got on this weird rabbit hole thing where I started reading about Charles Starkweather because I realized all these movies were based on this one real story. It was California with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis, Natural Born Killers with Juliette Lewis and Woody Harrelson. I saw that
one. That was good.
You know, Badlands, which I had seen with Martin Sheen when he was really young, and Sissy Spacek, and fucking The Frighteners. which actually called him by name. You know, Charles Starkweather, where they talked about him a lot, right?
I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to hear how all of these tie into Springsteen. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the craziest fucking thing. This is what it took to get me into Bruce Springsteen. I'm reading about all this shit, right? And then I read this little thing about a Bruce Springsteen album where the title track is based on the crimes of Charles Starkweather.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, the Born to Run and Jungle Land guy fucking wrote a song about Charles Starkweather. Like, I don't think I remember that record, right? So, and luckily, this was the age of iTunes. So I went exploring and I found the album Nebraska, which is a record that he recorded. Let me see if I can. I gotta pull up the list here. The list of albums and the order they came out in. It was like, you know, when an artist is starting to gain momentum after having a very like solid career, but they just hadn't exploded yet, right? That's where Springsteen was in his career. Springsteen and the E Street Band. They had come out with Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey, which, you know, that was their first record. You know, it had like one single off of it. They had another one, the Wild and the Innocent with the E Street Shuffle, that had like a couple. You know, Born to Run came out, and that was the one, you know, that it was like, and that's 1975. You know, so that they were getting there. You know, by the time we get to the period of this movie, which is 1980, the band had a bunch of singles that had gotten radio play, but they weren't like stratospheric yet. And we know that they get there, but they weren't there yet. But they were like, it was like, you know, when they talk about momentum, the executives talk about momentum, meaning like, get your ass in the studio, make another record so we can keep capitalizing on people liking you for now. Right then, he took a break from after a tour for a record called The River, which had I can't remember the fucking one. Had a couple songs on it. One of the ones everyone fucking knows. I don't know. Hungry Heart, maybe.
Okay.
Went back to Jersey, near Asbury Park, rented a house, right? Was trying to chill out. He had problems with depression his whole life. So, you know, when you're on tour all the time, you're always moving. You don't have time to think, you know. 3 albums worth of tours back to back to back. They did, plus playing in Jersey in between all that. And, like, everything kind of stopped. So he started losing a little bit. But he wasn't. That's the thing. A lot of people said the other thing about Springsteen, he's not that interesting from a movie perspective, right? Well, because he's not like a drug addict. He didn't have a ton of drama in his personal life. You know, this isn't the Nikki Sixx story, you know?
Or the Michael Jackson story.
Or the Michael Jackson story.
We were going to do it for real.
There's some abuse that they get into in this movie, but it's like light abuse, you know? And, you know, he made up with his dad. So I'm not going to get into the particulars of the story, but what he ended up doing was getting what was new at the time, a 4-track home tape recorder. So you were able to record 4 separate tracks on a cassette tape with this deck, right? And do like minimal mixing, you know? It was really like new shit. And he set up a little studio in this house with a guy he knew. And he recorded all these fucking songs in this like really stripped down, just him and a harmonica and a guitar and maybe another guitar on top of it on another track. And he recorded, he recorded Born in the USA, fucking all these hits, all these songs that ended up becoming hits. But none of them were on the next record he put out. He put out those recordings from that cassette, that almost like lo-fi cassette. And that was the next album that he put out. And the record company didn't really want to do it, but like he had never failed to deliver, and because it was one of those bands that they didn't have any problems. Like they didn't miss tour dates. You know, the lead singer didn't get too drunk to go on stage. You know, he didn't get arrested. You know what I mean? Like he didn't get into car accidents. Like that, they were reliable. So the record company's like, all right, he wants to put it out, and then he's like, he didn't do any press for it, and he didn't do a tour for it. And he wouldn't be on, and he also said he wouldn't be on the cover of the album. And they let him do it. And then the next record,
like weird demands that you're making of your record company. So I've got this shitty tape, you know,
right? It is, and that is just the flex that this dude had at the time. That they kind of just let him do it, and that's what this movie is about. But it's about what he was working through at the time making this record. That's what it's actually about. You know, and why it was so important to him. And it ends with him actually finally going to therapy for the first time, believe it or not. And, you know, that's why it's, you know, it's not the typical arc of a music biopic by any means, you know, and I just dug it. I really liked it. I don't know if Jeremy Allen White was great. You know, when he doesn't have an accent per se, but you know when an actor has an accent in a movie and it like comes and goes in intensity depending on the scene.
WandaVision.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good. Well, that's what his Springstee persona is like. Like in the first few scenes, it's like, wow, he's really got the cadence down and everything. All right, and then in a few other scenes, it's just like him. It could be him and the bear, you know. Yeah, but the point is, Born in the USA was the next album that came out after that, and that had the title track on it. It had "I'm on Fire" on it. It had "Dancing in the Dark" on it, and it had "Glory Days" on it. In addition to "My Hometown," which was also released as a single. And that was just it. That was the, you know, we're playing in Tokyo now. Like, that was it. World tour time, all over the fucking place. And they released a live record, double record that everyone bought. Like, they pressed so many, you can still get it for like $10, you know, in plastic. Yeah, and that's it. Like, and it also, like, it's kind of like that. Like you were saying about the Michael thing, it stops, you know, right at the zenith, you could call it. But there's no weirdness that they're not talking about afterward. I don't that I know of. You know what I mean? They're not avoiding anything.
Right.
But I don't know.
But at the same time, okay, so this is the dichotomy here, and this is what I want to know, like what you think would be a better picture. So I think what you just described is a more interesting film than what you said in the beginning you weren't going to get, which was, you know, you want to hear all the hits, you want to, you know, maybe see how they made, because that's what you're going to get out of Michael. Like they're going to make, you know, like at least all of the hits through Thriller. You know, you're going to have your Off the Wall, your Jackson 5, your Thriller stuff, but nothing after that, let's say. But that, you know, like it's just going to be an entertaining movie about like here are the songs, and fans are going to. So do you think more people would want to see the Bruce Springsteen movie that has like the, you know, the hits playing and all the stories behind them, or do you think that this would have made a more compelling film?
No, I think people, those two things are rarely the same, right?
Right? Like what people would want, and what would make a better film.
I think if they made it a pure nostalgia play, you know, and they were like, listen, Jeremy, you're just going to do a Bruce Springsteen impression, okay? And it's going to be a ton of concert setups, you know, but they would have had a hard time writing a story around that because, like I said, there is no, like, this isn't the Motley Crue story. Like, The Dirt. Did you see The Dirt?
Of course I saw The Dirt.
Fucking awesome, man. What an entertaining fucking movie. If you're going to do a music biopic, that's the way you do it. Break the fourth wall, say none of this shit happened. He's remembering it fucked up. That was a wonderful way to do that story. But there's not like all those crazy fucking shenanigans in the Bruce Springsteen story. There's some music nerd shit, you know. There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of Jersey
you
shit.
Need it though. Like it's great when all right, if it's there, if it happened, of course you want to cover it. But like if it didn't happen, there can still be a compelling story about how somebody, you know, overcomes the odds and, you know, like works
you
hard
could have made it like a simple underdog story, you know, like you could have made it a small town Jersey kid makes good story and filled it full of, you could have done it. And I do think more people would have gone to see it. I think it might have been a theater draw because they would have made it more like a music movie, you know. Would it have been a better movie? No, I don't think so. You know, because I don't get that. I don't understand the attraction. It's hero
worship.
Yeah, I guess. To me, it just seems like as a fan, I would be sitting there being like, that lip sync is fucking, that's dog shit. Like they should have just had him record it. Like that's what I would be judging the whole fucking time, like I do with every movie like that. And I'm wondering why I don't just go listen to a live album. Yeah. If that's the experience I want, a slightly different version of the songs I know, just listen to the fucking live record, man.
I remember when they did the Freddie Mercury thing, and the name of it is escaping me at the moment.
Fucking movie sucked.
But I remember they weaved his voice and Freddie Mercury together.
I read
so
about
that you would always be guessing like, well, that really did sound like him. Oh, but that did sound like the actor. But that sounded like Freddie Mercury. You know, always keep you guessing. You know.
Yeah, that sounds like a trick. Is what that sounds like.
Oh, wow.
I don't like it. But hey, I'll give Jeremy this. He sang all the shit in these scenes, and he did a really, really good job. Like he really pulled it off. Like there were a couple times where I'm like, no, that's really Springsteen. But no, he really nailed it, man. And that's one record I've listened to a lot out of a lot of records. And I don't listen to music much the older I get. You know, that was my last era of listening to music constantly. And I listened to that album a lot because it was really dark and depressing. Also, it has Atlantic City on it, which is a great fucking song, no matter what. But also, like you said, like you were fucking saying about how when something new comes out, you get this revival, right? So, you know, the other part of the story that they get into the movie is, you know, they attempt to make this record with the E Street Band, you know, off of his demo tape. They try to record their songs over again with the full band and, you know, produced and everything, right?
Okay.
And it just didn't work. Like, they didn't come out great. But they also recorded a proto version of Born in the USA with a completely different melody. And it's almost a whole different song.
For the film?
No, this was back in 1982 they did this.
Gotcha.
And they recorded all these songs and all these alternate takes and alternate versions, right? So right before the movie came out, they got released as a giant album on Spotify. So I got to listen to the whole fucking thing and all these, like, but it's so weird to hear songs you never heard before made by a band that was like at their peak, you know, with all their members, everyone's there, everyone was like clicking on all cylinders, and just no one's heard it for 40 years. That's cool shit, man.
Yeah,
And it's not like junk. Like, you know, it's not like leftover shit. Like, these were finished songs they were planning to put on a master, you know? It's cool. It's really cool. And it's really cool that no matter what, this movie got that to come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that all lines up, man. Has anything come out, like, about what's going to get released music-wise ahead of Michael?
No. I mean, and again, I would hope that
like, have they exhausted at this point all the like vault stuff?
More or less.
Yeah,
I mean, there
it's been
is
a long
stuff
time
in the vault, but what the estate will tell you is that there's nothing great behind the scenes anymore. Like we've released like everything that's good.
Yeah.
And they've got a few things they can drip out onto like, you know, like one extra track on like whatever compilation later on, but you're not going to see a whole nother album at this point. But, you know, like you said, like with Bruce Springsteen, like we've gotten some great stuff that came out, you know, like that he recorded in the Thriller and Bad era. Mm-hmm. And it's like Michael in his prime, making Thriller, like music that was great, but just couldn't fit on Thriller,
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what.
So it's been good to hear that stuff,
Yeah, I had a similar experience with Green Day recently. The last few albums, as they've been hitting their anniversary, they've been putting them out with all these demo versions and shit and alternate versions of songs. Fucking trippy, especially the like Dookie and the ones I know really well. It's weird. It's weird to hear a different idea. You're like, no, I'm glad they didn't go that way, but it's cool. It's still pretty cool. I just no, that's not right. It's wrong.
I remember when we were young, like what was it? Longview was on.
That was
10. Why can't I remember the number? Whatever. Smoothed Out Slappy Hours.
Slappy Hours. The chick with the fucking flower on her shirt. It was
1,000 hours and 40 something, so 1040 Smoothed Out. Yeah.
10,
and then Longview also
away.
was redone on Dookie, so you got to hear like from two different, like I don't want to say two different eras of their career, but like they revisited it.
That was the track they cursed on. You remember? Yeah, man. Was that the last track on Dookie? I think it was.
No, the last track on Dookie was the hidden track.
Well, the hidden track, it
was FOD / All By Myself.
That's right. Very good. Very good. FOD.
Oh man, I played the shit out of that album. Like if there was a way, I mean, my memory is horrible, but like if you could destroy a cassette, you could destroy a cassette tape listening to it too much.
Yeah,
I'm sure I did that to Dookie, and then I got the CD.
Dookie and Kerplunk. I loved Kerplunk. That was a great fucking album, dude. Oh man, yeah.
Wait, was Longview on Kerplunk or was it on 1040 Smooth? That's gonna bother me.
I don't think it was on Kerplunk. I think it was on the first one, and then it was very different. Yeah. Did you ever get to see Michael Jackson live?
No, I had a chance, and I was like, there will be another time. So when we were freshmen in college, Michael did what would have been his last live performance. It was the Madison Square Garden thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember my dad was working in New York City at the time, and he got in line, and while I was in class, and I was like, I don't care where I'm sitting, just get me something.
Yeah.
And he called me back afterwards, and he was like, he called me while he was in line, and he said, listen, they're saying that the cheapest tickets still available are like, I don't know, $1,000 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I can't justify that. There'll be another time. Like there'll be another, thing, and that won't be his last thing.
Do you regret it?
A little bit, but not really. Like today, I would do it, but today I have adult money.
For real. That was a lot of fucking money back then, man.
The one that I really regret is that he did his only real autograph signing at the Virgin Record store in New York City our freshman year of college, and I was like, there'll be another time for that too.
Until there isn't. That would have been
cool to actually meet him,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
I did see the Jacksons live, but he was not there for that.
No. Oh, it was the others. Just the others.
It was the other members of the band.
Was Tito there?
Tito, Jermaine, Jackie, and Marlon were there.
Whoa. The B-listers. Okay.
The B-listers. Everybody in the Jacksons is a B-lister except for Michael Jackson.
I don't know, man. LaToya, she pretty famous, man.
Okay,
Janet.
In the Jacksons, I was gonna say Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson are the only two that
Yeah, Janet.
Reby had a career, but and then Randy was not part of the group anymore by the time the Jacksons did. Do
you have any idea if she has endorsed this film or has the family endorsed it?
Janet Jackson?
Yeah.
Well, yes. So I don't know that. I don't know individually, what they're gonna say about it, but because this is an official thing through the estate, because that's why they couldn't, do the Chandler thing. I'm sure the family would say it's great. Paris Jackson, his daughter, for what it's worth, has come out and said that it's a bunch of bullshit and fans are going to love it. The same way that any, like we talked about the Freddie Mercury thing or the Bruce Springsteen movie they didn't make. It's just going to be fan service for a couple of hours there. So, she did not give it her stamp of approval, but.
Okay. All right. I was fortunate enough to see Springsteen once.
He still performs though, right?
Yeah, but it's usually really expensive. The thing that made it special was that my wife got me tickets to see him at the Spectrum in Philly before they tore it down. I actually got to see them and Green Day at the Spectrum the year before they tore it down. And it was supposed to be his last show in Philly. It was supposed to be, rather, his last show at the Spectrum. But they ended up adding more tour dates at the end of the tour. So he did come back around like 3 months later. So I felt cheated. But it was still awesome. We were up in the upper fucking tier. Like the halo, and the Spectrum was real steep. You know, it was really, it was kind of creepy. We were up there and we were like, you know, to the right, left, behind the stage, sort of. And we were sitting next to this middle-aged lady who was telling us how she came to see Elvis at the Spectrum when she was young. And
burn love.
yeah. And she was telling us how many times she'd seen Springsteen here, and it was really kind of nice. And it was awesome, actually. It was a great show, even though we were at a fucked up angle. But you know what it ended up being was it ended up being one of Clarence's last shows, the saxophone player. He passed away very soon after that. I don't think it was his very last show, but it was really close. It was really close. And a few years before, I believe, we went to see Dave Matthews Band in Virginia once. Okay. And then the saxophonist for that band died like a couple months later.
So then you're cursed.
Yeah, we can't go see any bands that have a saxophone anymore, or someone's fucking dying, apparently.
Pretty much.
We just don't fucking do that.
I should probably see Green Day live. I saw Billy Joe Armstrong perform all the music during American Idiot when they did the Broadway musical. He was performing. Okay. He played St. Jimmy for a while there. They did a tour not that long ago where they performed the American Idiot album in its entirety. And we were just busy. I was like, if I don't see this, I'm never going to go. You know, like this this would be the thing to see. And if I don't do it, then, you know, then I'm not going to. So I'm sure I won't.
I believe they were on their American Idiot tour when I went to see them. That was the only time I've ever seen them, too. I've been listening to their music since I was like 10 years old.
That's a great tour. I have the Blu-ray of that. That's good enough.
Oh, yeah? No, it was a great show, man. We were like on the floor, too, with all these fucking young kids. It was ridiculous. So, what would you say, do you have a favorite biopic that you can name? I did not ask you for this ahead of time. This is spontaneous.
Yeah, no, I should have thought about that ahead of time. You just mentioned the Elvis thing, and while I won't say it's my favorite because I can't think of anything off the top of my head immediately, I did really like the Elvis thing they did a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know a whole lot about. I mean, I never really got that into Elvis, so like I didn't know a lot about Colonel Parker and the ways that he was kind of manipulating him and grifting him. Really.
Yeah, it was dark stuff. Yeah, I'd read about it, but it hit harder. Tom Hanks was great too. He was such a fucking shitbag.
Yeah.
I liked the style of it. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. I only saw it once. I didn't dislike it. It. It was. I bought into the style after a while. Yeah, it was pretty good.
As you mentioned, I loved Ray. I liked Ali.
Yeah. I gotta say, mine is a tie, and they're both music. Walk the Line, because I just really, it's one of those. It hits all the tropes, but it's also like the reason for a lot of the tropes.
Was Walk the Line the serious one or the parody with Riley?
That's the other one. That's the tie. It's Dewey Cox. Yeah, walk hard.
Yeah,
the
there
story,
we
go. The Ballad of Dewey Cox. Yeah,
sure.
I fucking love that movie, dude. And I honestly, that movie is the reason I don't know if I can watch new music biopics unless there's something a little unconventional like the Springsteen one, because he's fucking ruined. They hit it the nail on the head every beat with that movie. It's ridiculous. how many tropes there have been in music biopics, and it's not even that broad of a genre. That's exactly Bohemian Rhapsody. It was like
that was the name of it. That's been bugging me this whole time.
I'm sorry. It just hit me. Because I'm remembering watching it, and I'm like, I remember laughing through the whole thing. I'm like, Dewey Cox made fun of all of this, every single fucking thing in this movie.
All right, you know what? I got it. I think my favorite biopic was I, Tonya.
Oh my God, that is a great movie.
Right?
That is a great movie. Yeah.
First of all, Margot Robbie and Allison Janney are phenomenal in that movie.
Yeah, still too pretty to play the real people, but you know they did good. They did good,
especially in Margot Robbie's case. I think they kind of dulled Allison Janney down a bit.
Yeah, they did their best. Best.
But I mean, it's oh man, it's so good, and it's so funny, but it tells the story so well. And you know, like
you don't need to give a shit about skating at all. You don't need to care about skating at all.
I don't care about skating. Yeah.
No. My wife used to figure skate until even recently, and we watch the very few figure skating movies that there are together often, and she loves that one, and I don't mind. It's great. It's a great flick. It's a great movie.
I just love the way that they're like, listen, this is my story. You don't like it, lick my ass. You know?
That's the actual line, isn't it? Lick my ass.
Probably is pretty close.
Lick my ass. Lick my ass. Fucking all class, that family. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Who's the guy who played the the fucking lunatic who thought he was in the CIA? He played Richard Jewell in that Richard Jewell movie. Shit, I don't know his name. He was in the Springstee movie. He fucking showed up in the Springsteen movie, and I kind of love him. He's like great in everything.
Was that the guy from Cobra Kai?
I think so. The big heavy dude.
Yeah,
Paul the mustache. Is that his name? I got to remember that because he's fucking hilarious, and I love him. But I do have to call the Springsteen movie out for one criminal trope that they did commit. They got David Krumholtz to play a Jewish music producer. And that's just the role he plays in like every fucking movie now. That's just all he does. He recently played that role, but as a movie producer in two things I saw. And he played this specific parodied role in the Dewey Cox movie. Like... It's a joke at this point. It has to be, but
sure,
you know, it's Krumholtz, man. Krumholtz is dead. Rihanna's dead. You could take my whole weight. I gotta watch This Is the End again. Apparently, it's just I haven't. In my head
do
like
love that. That I wouldn't call that a biopic.
Yeah, it's an alternate reality biopic. That's what it is. Sure. All right, cool. Well, we'll see how Michael turns out.
Yeah. Obviously, I wish it luck. You know, like I hope it does well. I hope I get the stuff that I want out of it, which is, you know, like a 4K Blu-ray of Moonwalker, maybe some. I don't know. I don't know. Something on the. I don't really care about the movie itself, but I want digitized stuff that has not made it to the digital era yet, because there's a lot of that shit.
Maybe an AI monkey, an AI version of Bubbles. Wasn't that the monkey's name?
The monkey's name was Bubbles. Yeah.
Ah, damn, dude, that came from like deep within my soul memory. I don't know where that came from.
No, there's just a lot of music that hasn't made it off vinyl yet. You know?
Speaking of monkeys, there's a movie coming out we're probably going to have to talk about. Because I think it might scare the living Christ out of me, dude.
You sent me that trailer.
I'm terrified of this movie. It's called Primate.
I did not know that you had a thing with monkeys.
I don't like them. I don't like them in general, but I really hate chimps. And like violent chimps upset me. What was that fucking Jordan Peele movie with the crazed chimp that kills everybody in the very beginning on the TV show set? The one with the aliens.
Oh, no.
Was that what it was called?
Nope. Sorry,
Nope.
Yeah. I forgot all about the monkey thing. I would just remember them like up against the big thing in the sky the whole movie. Yeah.
The whole fucking movie was stupid as shit, but that part
that was the weakest of the three. I don't know if he did more than 3, but I remember the 3. It was Get Out, Nope, and
Us.
The one with Us. Yeah. And of the 3 of those, I liked Get Out the most, and then Us was okay, and then the Nope was.
Well, this entire movie looks like it's basically just the crazy monkey part. The director literally described it as like, no, this is just Cujo with a chimp. That's what we did. We just made Cujo with a chimp. Sure. And I think it might actually be the first movie in a long time to freak me out because the trailer upset me.
I do like that we're at a point of honesty where they can tell you, like, listen, it's Cujo with a monkey.
Yeah, and that sold me. You know? That fucking sold me. You're not beating around the bush. That freaks me out. That's better than doing a remake of Cujo, as far as I'm concerned. And,
which I'm sure if they haven't done already, they will at some point.
Oh, don't say that. That's actually one of the better fucking adaptations of any of his work. But yeah, I'll be there to see it. Because I'm a fucking masochist, I guess. And I just want to see. I want to see how bad it freaks me out. I think I'll do it at home where I can shut it off and not be judged.
There you go.